Hey everybody, welcome to Tales of Eldura, our one-on-one D&D duet game. So tonight we are starting in the amazing and exciting Negative Plains and the Unagata city of Til'Vane. But before we get caught up in everything, honey,
Hey. Hi.
you want to say a word about our sponsor and then I'll thank our patrons?
Oh, yes.
So hello friends in chat.
Hello, friends in chat. So our stream tonight is brought to you by Aurora. Aurora is the prequel novella for the Age of Azuria high fantasy series, which explores a magical world that teeters on the brink between light and darkness. In this exciting action and magic-packed series filled with druids, pirates, werewolves, and more, ancient forces awaken and new heroes rise to the occasion. But this time, who will prevail? Find out in this delightful novella, which can be yours if you just go over to bethballbooks.com and sign up for the list.
Which you can find. So if you go to bethballbooks.com/join, you can become part of the Story Enclave and get special updates about my fiction as well as a free fantasy novella, a copy of Aurora. We just started a fiction podcast, World of Azuria, which you can find on I think all the podcast places. If you're trying to find it somewhere and it's not there, just get in touch with me on Twitter at Grove Guardian or on Instagram at Bethball Author, and I will add it to your podcast platform of choice. There's so many podcast places.
There are 1,119 podcast places.
And there's not like an aggregator for like, here's how to get on all the small ones. It's not on Amazon. That's right. So if you're looking for it there, it's not there.
So there.
It's not like a statement. It just isn't. It's just not there.
Do you want to thank our patrons?
Yes. Patrons, thank you so much for supporting us and for supporting our stream. It means the world to Jonathan and I. We love interacting with you guys in the stream and on our Patreon. Our community there is super special, and we really appreciate your support in creating the Land of Vampires campaign. We could not be doing something, especially something of this magnitude, without your help and support. So thank you so much.
Yeah. So, is it time?
And can I say really fast, but in case we forget at the end, our stream schedule, if you are joining us at other times this month, we have Tabletop for Two on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. This Friday, we're talking about villain design. Then we are not going to be meeting for a week because, drum roll, it's someone's birthday.
It's
and
me.
Then we will be. It's you. And then we will be meeting that next week. We'll have Tales of Eldura and Tabletop for Two again then. And then that last week of March and that very first week of April, someone again is on spring break, and we are going to staycation with the best of them.
Staycation responsibly.
We're going to stay socially distanced staycation.
You better stay 6 feet away from me, honey.
We've got this wall separating us, so
better not.
It doesn't count. Honey, so it's been a second since we played Tales of Eldura.
I forgot
when we left off in our game. Gareth had just gotten to the gates of the elven city of Til'Vane. I know that, let's see, do you want to do your intro and then I'll tell you where you are?
That sounds perfect.
Okay.
I'm Gareth Stosdak, heretofore a mild-mannered blacksmith plying my trade in the walled city of Respite. I found out that my son had disappeared onto the negative plane along with the holy city in which he resided. This set me on a quest to recover my son from said nefarious negative plane, and I was eventually able to do so with the help of my companions, the witch Tessina, and the enigmatic interplanar agent Evelyn. With their assistance, we went down to the negative planes, found my son Patrick in the Holy City, and ran into a bit of a roadblock when he determined that he should not return until we were able to return the rest of the city. Loyalty in that boy is very unbecoming. Additionally, I've been given a vision from the god of the forge, Vulcan, that has set me in the direction of... they gave us a direction to pursue. We're after a very intense weapon. A sword strong enough to cut free, say, a holy city from a negative plane. We are operating, we're doing all of this in defiance of the evil deity Alessandra, who is subsumed, is that the right word? Subsumed my Lord Vulcan on this plane.
I don't know if Gareth knows that exactly.
Something's going on. That's what I know. I don't like it, and it better stop. We made our way to Til'Vane, seeking allies and information, which is where we left off.
Perfect. So, here we are in Til'Vane. Also, honey, is the music working for you?
Oh yeah, the music is working for me.
Okay. It's mad at me, so I can't hear it anymore.
Oh.
That's fine. Just if something goes wrong with it, let me know, because it's not playing in my... I upset it. I didn't mean to. Thank you, Tabletop Audio, for the music for our stream.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, Gareth, we are going to pan forward just a little bit from our last session. Gareth, you have arrived in the elegant Nagata city of Til'Vane, an ancient metropolis home to the only mortal native residents of the negative planes, the Nagata. I'm going to pop our map forward so we can all be in Til'Vane together. Perfect. Okay. Upon gaining entry to the city, with a little help from your new frenemy Nigel, Evelyn insisted on stopping first in a favorite tavern of hers, the Weary Way, to leave a note for an acquaintance, Renage. She and Nigel then prepared you as best as they could. Actually, before you arrived, Evelyn and Nigel prepared you as best they could for how much you would stand out once inside the city. But the open stairs from most and the pointing of Nagata Young is still quite a bit to get used to.
As Gareth passes one of these Nagata Young, he gives one, like, he's making eye contact with one that's like just staring him down, and he gives a big full-faced smile with his like busted little half-work teeth.
The kid smiles back at you. Thanks.
And I think Gareth kind of and just kind of catches up with everybody.
He goes, exciting. Thank you. So, we've traveled along the city's upper ring to the Travelers District, a short flight outside the All Faiths Temple. And so, if we can remember for a second, these dark blue spaces there's nothing there. It is like, it's just the negative ether of the negative planes. Not good to go diving down. And so each of the concentric rings of the circle of the city kind of sink down. So the Protectorate of Mages in the center is larger than it appears from looking at it here because it is kind of at the bottom of an ice cream cone or something, but something scarier. But yeah, at the bottom of a cone.
A frightening funnel, if you will.
Exactly.
It has
Yeah, definitely not
alliteration.
good to fall. Most Nagata have wings. The city has also been set up for those who don't, or for those who would like to rest. So there are trolleys of sorts. I need to figure out what a fantasy trolley would be called. Anyway, so there are pulleys and trolleys and things to help one navigate from um, one level down or up to the next. For the most part, the outer ring and the second ring are the common folk as well as many of the professionals in um, in Til'Vane. So as you'll see, we have the merchants district, artist district, travelers district, where people who are not from the city tend to stay. Nearby you, there's the All Faiths Cathedral. There is I think an opera house of some kind, a theater, um, not quite Coliseum, but something similar to that. There's a really pretty garden far to the north. Lots of options. It's towards the center of the city, though, is where the wealthiest of the population live, the nobles rest, and the Protectorate of Mages being one of the oldest one of the oldest surviving magical organizations in all of the world of Eldura, or the multiverse, really. In the morning, you will have the opportunity to visit the temple and speak with one of the priestesses. You understand from Evelyn and your various guides that said priestess is named Quartz. So this evening, though, is relatively flexible. Is there anything that you would like to do?
Gareth would know this, but I'm not sure that I do. Is there like a day-night cycle in this negative plane? In the plane proper and specifically in the city?
In the plane proper, not so much. And the city seems to stay bright as well at all points in the day. But there does seem to be you notice a kind of shift you notice more people on the streets,
Mm-hmm.
and it is following the cycle that you guys have already kind of adopted on your travels of resting when you become tired. It's kind of like sunset lighting all the time, except more fiery than it is a pleasant sunset light.
It's like a
Although the city is not quite as cold as the desert was, it's actually a relatively pleasant temperature. It doesn't smell terrible here.
it's an improvement. And
Hmm.
kind of like
There's grass in a few places, lots of sand still.
and kind of we're in the travelers district right now, I assume, and we're walking with Evelyn
Yes.
and Nigel.
Mhm.
And as we walk,
Yes, unless you want to walk with someone else besides Nigel.
Nigel's fine. As we walk, I got two things that Gareth is interested in. One, I want to determine what do I notice about the people here? Is there like a huge disparity from the haves and have-nots? Are there like, what's the vibe? What's the temperature? Is it reminding me of anywhere? And um shoot, oh, we're in the travelers district, so am I seeing lots of non-Nagata? And if I am, what kinds of folk am I seeing that aren't Nagata?
You roll a perception check.
Perception. Uh 16 total.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Oh, there we go.
Sorry.
You're fine.
So with your 16, it's still really disorienting to such be so dramatically out of place all the time. Um, and so primarily what you see are Nagata. If Evelyn hadn't explained to you the disparity in class, I don't know that it would be obvious at all to you that some people are struggling more so than others. The Travelers District is relatively well off, though, so you haven't been to the poorer areas of the city. Although you did notice walking in through Eastgate, some of the, I think that's where you guys came in. You did notice some smaller homes that looked a little bit run down just outside of the barracks upon entry.
Okay.
Um, so you also asked if there are other people in the Travelers District. There are some non-Nagata in the Travelers District as well. Not many, and they seem to have found ways of blending in. So even if you don't see any other, lack of a better word, tourists like you, or at least not so far.
I
But
got the
those who you
fanny
do
pack,
see,
the
yeah,
lost
no fanny
look.
packs here. Um, just gaping eyes. Yeah, not so much of that. You do notice elves for the most part of a couple different origin places, as well as Fae like Evelyn, but they dress like Nagata. And so with the fine coats and waistcoats and kind of frilled sleeves and everything, it looks like either a very formal society or a culture of jesters, I think would be what
Mm,
Garrett's most immediate um, association. But from children to parents, everyone has on lots of different layers, um, frills, bright colors. The thing you notice, or that Evelyn helps you to see in terms of demonstrations of class, are the decorations of horns. So, those with fully gold horns, for example, are likely either mages or nobles. Those with no decorations on their horns are in the lower classes of the city. Some of the middle class residents will have gold, silver, bronze, some sort of fine metal kind of woven around their horns.
hmm Um, cool. So observing this, I think Gareth is going to slow down and talk to Tessina.
Okay.
So, what do you think?
So I think about what's Gareth.
I don't know everything. Have you ever seen so many Nagata? Probably not, right?
If not, have you? Have you been here
Oh,
before and you didn't tell me?
no, goodness, no. Listen, I was wondering if we wouldn't make everybody a little more comfortable if we, did a little. We've got some coin. I wonder if we could do a little shopping. I'm still wearing the same stuff that I brought from Respite.
Sounds really exciting. What do you think we should wear? Do you think
I
we can get horns?
I don't. I think that might be frowned upon or like appropriative or something. But I think it
Okay.
maybe
I've
some
always wanted some.
some frills or something. Some
Hmm.
frills and some puffy.
I saw a man with a really thick golden necklace that made me think that this would look good on you.
Oh, like a gold chain.
Hmm.
Hmm. Well, let's keep an eye out, and if we see a place that isn't
How do
freaked
you feel
out,
about pinky rings?
um, I generally like to keep my hands unencumbered. Um,
Mm.
because I mean, if you snag, you're doing something with a heavy block of iron or something, and you snag a piece of jewelry, it's an easy way to get your finger degloved.
Does that mean it takes off your glove?
So imagine that the skin on your hand is a glove, and imagine that you took
Mhm.
that glove and just rolled it back over, just
Gross,
leaving
Gareth. Don't
behind
tell me anymore. No, I
muscle,
don't want to hear.
tendon,
No, stop it.
bone.
La 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 la. Also, I thought you told me that you only are supposed to blacksmith with gloves on.
No, 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 no. I mean, you
That's what your little assistant said.
you should blacksmith with gloves on, but the only gloves that I need are my skin gloves.
after explaining that, what you just said, I hope you understand that that's probably not a good idea.
Right. So we
I'm gonna
keep an
find you
eye
some
out.
gloves while we look around.
We keep an eye out for a place to buy some clothing that would be appropriate for
Okay.
us.
Roll an investigation check.
DM, could I do it with advantage since I've got Nigel and Evelyn helping me?
Sure.
How about a nat 20? Oh yeah, boom shakalaka, rolling
Ooh.
for
Yes.
clothes.
So you find a clothing district in a way, but it's a separate merchants district made just for newcomers to Til'Vane, or so the exuberant shopkeeper informs you.
How
She proceeds
convenient.
to laden you with lots of different accessories. You can really choose whatever colors you want. She has some hats if you would like,
No.
tons of waistcoat possibilities. Um, yeah, you sure you don't want this top hat?
I am positive that it would get knocked off the moment I had to duck under a lintel. I think that's a no for me. You should wear it. It looks. Oh, you should wear this tiny top hat, kind of cocked to the side.
Perfect. I was going to use the tiny one for Princess Slobberchops and this big one for me, but we can share this one.
Big one for Princess
Right,
Slobberchops. Small one for you.
oh yes. Perfect. I love that idea. I have to tell you something.
Gareth leans in.
I don't have very much money.
Tessina, I have to tell you something. I've got a lot of
Okay.
money.
Okay.
We'll take all of this. Just all of it.
Wonderful.
Not all of it. I mean, just the items
Lady,
that we want. We'll take those items.
I understand. Where are you staying here in Sylvain?
Oh, Gareth looks over at Evelyn and Nigel. The restful wretch.
Sorry, I just realized that I forgot to come up with a really cool name for the place where you guys are staying. So yeah, believe you mean the restful respite? Yes.
Yes, it reminds me of home.
Oh, are you from respite?
I am. Have you heard of it?
I have vaguely. It sounds quite dull. No offense. How do you find it there?
Well, not nearly as varied and exciting as here, to be sure.
You have but one theater guild, is that true?
It is, I suppose, that you have dueling theater guilds.
Three
It's a
in the off
relative.
season.
Ah, good. So, in addition to helping us with our clothing needs, which I appreciate, thank you, I'm wondering where would a fine clothier such as yourself, um, if you were to advise a traveler from somewhere as dull as Respite on activities for the evening, then what would you
Hmm.
advise said traveler, it's me, to do? What is a must-see thing?
Well, must see things. There's a fabulous opera in its third week of performances tonight, so I would certainly start there. Before, there is a very elegant restaurant where you might stop. The glassed in rose.
The glassed in rose.
Maybe I'll rephrase that as the glass rose.
That sounds great. Lots of
It is really nice.
botanicals.
Yes, all made of glass. The entire restaurant is actually, for the most part, made of glass. Anything that they can have, it's all very delicate.
Goodness. Better look out when you go to the restroom, right?
Oh, yes.
So, dinner and a show, he says, turning to his companions.
Tessina has just found like a whole like bucket of ribbons and is playing with them in her hair. But so she's like, "Do you like the opera?"
Actually, I went to the opera frequently in Beacon before it got drug into the negative planes.
Will you tell me about what it is before we go?
Yes, essentially, it is a drama, typically. Um, Take all of the emotions that you felt, dial them up to 11, and add singing about them and a
I love to sing about
preposterous
my emotions.
kind of outrageous dramatic story, and there you have it. It's opera.
That sounds wonderful.
And
I see why you
what's
are
not
so
to
drawn to
enjoy?
it.
Yeah. I wonder if any of
We'll
the
make friends while
players
we're there.
out of Beacon survived the demonic and devilish invasion and being pulled into the negative plane, and then managed to trek the interminable bloodless plains to arrive here. Wouldn't that be something?
Could always pretend to have been taken over by a demon or devil and just see how well that goes for them.
You know, I've had that as a backup plan for if and when something goes terribly wrong. With me, I'll just say that the devil made me do it.
I think that's wise.
Nigel, what about you? A fan of the arts?
Of course.
As any civilized outer gate guard would be. Very good. How much is all of these things that we want?
That will be, what do you think, honey? Like 30 gold?
You tell me, DM.
Can't ever remember how much things are supposed to cost. 85 gold.
Oh, I'm totally kidding. 35 gold's a steal. We take it. And we tip her
Nice.
5 gold.
Oh. I'll have the excess packages sent over to the Restful Respite.
Excellent. Yes, don't send them over to the restful wretch or whatever I said earlier. That would be terrible.
It would be terrible. For many reasons, I think. Thank you all so much.
So Gareth is, in the course of this, changed. When you were describing the puffiness and the frills, I was kind of getting Interview with the Vampire vibes. You know, like with the sleeves.
Perfect.
And the puffy, lacy.
Thinking Gaston and Beauty and the Beast with all of his
Ooh, yeah.
accessories.
So Gareth is still wearing his plate, but now there are frilly, lacy things coming out of it, and we've got kind of maybe like a glorified tabard style thing over top of it to add a little pop of color. Also, Pop of Color would be the name of my Zydeco band.
Just in case you need to start one.
Just in case. Pop of Color. So, I think we're done shopping.
What would you like to do now? Okay.
I think that we're going to. I'm also curious to. I've got some gold. I've got some money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious if there are what's the magical item / potion trade situation? Does this seem like would the Travelers District be the kind of place where I could find somebody slanging some healing potions and or other magical items of interest?
Not so much. For that, you'd really want to go to the Merchants District or the Protectorate of Mages.
Okay. Um, so Nigel, now that we're great friends and going to the theater, do you think that you could get us into the Protectorate of Mages?
Um, I'm not sure that that is within my purview per se. How direct of a line to the Protectorate of Mages would you like?
How direct of a line?
Hmm.
I would like the kind of connection that would allow me to spend coin on powerful magical items. Or to do favors for people for powerful magical items that could aid us on our journey, right, Evelyn?
Would be helpful. I don't know that Nigel is our person for that. I'm hoping that the person we speak to at the All Faiths Cathedral might have more official connections.
Nigel, you know what? Under advisement of counsel, disregard everything I said, though I do appreciate your smooth talking to help us get into Til'Vane.
Of course. It was my pleasure. Nigel also had you buy him a cravat and a few different handkerchiefs.
Can't
Whether you
ever,
noticed or not.
can't ever have just one.
One set of cufflinks.
Hmm.
Still a second.
Ooh, sketchy. I think Gareth, noticing the cufflinks and just kind of like walking through. Okay, so I guess then we're going to. I guess we're gonna do our evening. So we'll start
Okay.
figuring out.
And so we can do like you said you wanted healing potions.
He's looking.
You want some like. All right, go ahead.
He's looking for healing potions. And let me check to make sure that I have spell components for the things that I want to be able to cast.
Okay.
Gareth is also looking for some diamonds for spell casting. Yeah. So healing potions.
So
diamonds.
as you're walking through the Travelers District, you do pass Agatha's Herbs and Ends. Which, as you go past, you think he probably has some healing potions.
Hey. What about this place? And I walk in.
Garrett, this place looks amazing. Tessina runs in after you.
Agatha?
Oh? Are you? You are new.
Yes. Greetings. We're not from here. I know that you can't tell that.
I could tell.
Oh.
So obvious.
Right. I was wondering if you had any items of magical value. For instance, healing potions or potions that could maybe turn one into a dragon or components like diamonds, things like that.
Agatha has the finest healing potions. As far as this so-called dragon potion, I'm afraid no, that one is out of stock, but I do have some lovely herbs there, miss, or some crystals if you so desire. I had somewhere a potion that can turn you huge, but unfortunately, said potion, well, the bottle I accidentally reused from a magical shrinking potion, so sometimes I can find it and sometimes I cannot. Sometimes it is a couple feet tall, sometimes it's about
Right.
this. So
So the magic was changing the size of the bottle. Goodness.
Oh, accidentally. I'm,
R-
again, very happy herbs here, sir.
yes, I can tell the happy herbs. Really, yes. Listen, I would love to sample your healing potion. Do you have a taste test?
No, it's grape flavored.
Ugh. Okay.
Oh, do you want something else?
No, it's fine.
She
What do you?
slings open the cabinet behind her, and you see all kinds of little potion bottles. We've got bubblegum, peppermint, spearmint is pretty popular, not my
Yeah,
favorite.
mint. Sounds
Wintergreen,
good.
sour cherry, tangerine. Give
Um,
those.
right. You have a. Those are all healing potions.
Other flavors.
Ah, how many healing potions do you have?
Um, she slings open the door behind the glass counter where she's standing and kind of lowers herself down. 3 right now.
While she's
And
lowered
they
down,
are grape flavored, but
can I look around her shop for anything else of interest, or does anything catch my eye? Magical items, weapons, anything?
do you roll a perception check?
Perception check is going to come out to be 15.
Okay. So with that, you do see she has some fine-looking parchments and inks. You see some other basic spell components. Tessina has an armful of odds and ends accessories to restock her component pouch. That are all, it's mostly herbs that she's had trouble finding in the negative planes. Evelyn refills her herbalism kit too while you guys are here. But besides that, you don't see weapons really, or at least not weapons you recognize. You might ask Hagatha if she has any alchemical weapons, but with Gareth's 15 and you're not, and the knowledge you have of natural items.
Let's take these 3 grape flavored healing potions. Unless you can make them taste like mint, then we'll take the 3 grape
Right
flavored ones.
away.
Ah, good.
Pops off the counter, and you see her put on like a wide straw hat, and then she picks up the other little bottle of mint and gets out
Everybody
like a
stand
teeny
back.
pair of whatever these like clamps.
It's gonna
And each
taste.
time she does, it goes.
It's gonna taste like grape and mint. Great. How much are these potions?
100 gold each.
Wow, that is a markup. Now listen, Hagatha. Gareth is gonna put his elbow on the counter and give his best.
She's been looking at you like this.
Charming, toothy smile. Isn't there a better price that you could offer these poor travelers far away from home?
Travelers far away from home tend to have the most amount of money and the most need, from what I've found. Roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion check incoming. Here we go. That's going to be a 9.
About 90 each.
Oh, Hagatha, you have just made my day.
Good.
90 each. So 90 times 3 is obviously 270?
270.
270 gold. See how quickly I did that math in my head?
You'd be so good.
Well, I'm a lot poorer than I was when I entered Til'Vane. Is everybody ready? Does anybody need anything else?
I've got some stuff. Me too. All right, Hagatha's voice mixed with Tessina's for a second. Okay.
So we will venture out and we'll do whatever makes sense. Either go into the tavern if we need to, or we can just go on and go to the Glass Rose and then get tickets to the opera. Oh,
Okay. So, you pick up from Tessina's antsiness as you approach the Glass Rose that she might like to stop by the Restful Respite Inn first.
do you need to go
To
pee?
Yes, but um, but I was also hoping to freshen up just a little bit because I'm all dusty from walking around in the middle of wherever we are, aware for days and days and days and days and days and days and days.
Yes. Where did we, real quick though, did we check our Mechanical Phoenix at the Mechanical Phoenix stables, or?
So it's been coming with you, um, so far.
So it's just like flying just above us, like as we walk through the streets?
So this is a like there's lots of air traffic in this city, and so it's actually more in this case I think of a trolley system where your phoenix just kind of follows you. It is at a height, but just follows you along the street.
Cool.
If you imagine walking beneath like an aqueduct, it's like 10 or
Uh-huh.
15 feet over your head, and that's where your phoenix is.
Okay.
And there are some um, kind of basic mechanics and some vehicle cleaners who will like brush and dust off the phoenix for you if you so desire and choose. A bunch of little thing Nagata children. I think it's very an exciting bird. Princess Slobberchops is there to supervise it for you if you need.
If I do get a chance, I don't know when this would happen in the time frame, but he would, like, if there's a knowledgeable Nagata mechanic or something that's looking over the Phoenix, then he would just ask him what he thought of it and if he'd seen anything like it before.
So I think that might be a kind of appointment for you to make. The priest that Evelyn has set up an appointment with through Nigel is also a scholar and would probably know a tinkerer or two.
Cool.
Let me jot that down and I'll make sure that can happen.
Yeah. So then we'll head to the Restful Respite.
Cool. And if I can tell you really fast too, you do notice mechanical beings walking around. So several of the Nagata children have like a mechanical supervisor. Also looks like a Nagata and just kind of wanders around with them. You see an elderly Nagata female with a kind of upright, square-armed golden assistant who follows her around. But lots of different mechanical objects, odds and ends here.
That's cool.
There's steam power in some places that so you kind of sing by.
Do any of the mechanical people, you said they look like a Nagata, do any of the mechanical people fly?
Some of them do have wings.
But do I see any of them flying?
In the air.
Uh-huh.
You don't right at this second, but you did when you came in through Eastgate.
Okay. I just wanted to know if they could fly. That's cool. To the Restful Respite.
So you guys go to the Restful Respite. Xena, rinses off a bit, gets changed. She looks super cute. We're going to the opera. Goofy skirt. She's really excited.
I think Gareth is going to freshen up too. He's not going to go quite as hard as Tessina, but he is going to zhuzh up his whole deal.
Okay. What does that look like?
He looks largely the same, except I think Gareth, as a worker in fine details, does appreciate the nicer things, and so his shirt is pressed and his cuffs are crispy. clean, and his frills are just so.
Nice.
I haven't been thinking of Gareth as having hair. Have you been thinking about Gareth as having hair?
So I've been thinking about it slicked back.
Ah. Huh. Was if he
Is his
has
head
hair
shiny?
in your imagination, then his hair's all slick and looks good.
Is his head shiny?
Uh,
And bald?
I wouldn't have said shiny, but maybe. I don't know. The image that I have for him is a bald orc, but then my token is a dude with like hair slicked back. It's
Mm,
complicated. I'm gonna need to commission some work or something.
that's a great idea. Okay, so you guys get all fancified. Evelyn does at Tessina's prodding switch into a fancier shirt beneath her armor. And so instead of wearing the like dark red maroon that she's usually wearing, she's wearing um like black leather armor and has kind of a pirate sleeve.
Is Nigel
You guys
still
are
accompanying
ready.
us?
Do you want him to, or are you good?
Uh,
I didn't think Gareth liked Nigel that much, so I was gonna ditch him and replace him.
perfect.
Nigel, you can go.
Bye, Nigel. Thanks again. We'll see you sometime. You know where we're staying. Bye
Oh,
now.
very well. I do. I'll come visit. Sorry, he's like my least favorite person in the organization, but
You all seemed chummy earlier, but it's good that
we've worked together for a long time.
some history there.
Yes. But I I'm hopeful that you like Renej.
Yes, Renej. And we're meeting them here? Or do they want to have come dinner with us?
Yes. I don't know that she's free on such short notice, but we will find out. She surprised me before.
Right. To dinner!
So Evelyn kind of leads you guys down the streets. You fit in much better now, though you still stand out just a little bit. And there are street musicians. It has gone just a little bit darker, and so there are some lantern lights, and you notice some like glowy. Whereas if we were in like the Brightlands or something, it'd be colorful, magical lights. These are all little kind of floating above people's heads, but it still has a very romantic glow about it.
As we walk, I think Gareth, noticing the romantic music and lighting, is kind of just lost in reminiscing romantic walks through Beacon back in the day. And if he's walking next to Cena, I think that he would absentmindedly just kind of hold her hand.
Oh, well, Tessina loves that, and so she swings your hand with hers, and if you guys go
To dinner!
So you go to the Glass Rose, which is just as beautiful as described. It is shaped like a rose made of glass. Relatively open air, although the way that the petals intersect along the top creates enough of a like overhang to where if it were raining, for example, which it doesn't really do here, it would catch instead of falling on the people below, but it looks like it would be open air. And the panes are beveled and really cool. Some of them are really, really teensy. Some of them are huge. So it just kind of depends. But you can tell that each one has been placed very deliberately. And then inside you see small black tablecloth tables with little kind of bowls of flame sitting in the center, and couples staring at one another romantically. There's several sets of musicians in here. Um, and so Evelyn walks up to the fantasy equivalent of a maitre d', gets you guys a table. Um, would that be indoors or out?
Indoors. You know what? We've been traveling a lot.
Wonderful. Right this way.
Right? It's nice to
I
be inside, right? Yeah.
think so. So you all get situated at a very lovely table, nearish but not too near to the musicians, and several courses of food follow. I'm assuming you have some chilled red wine.
Yes. Leave the pitcher.
Of course. Gareth, I have to ask you a question.
Oh, yes.
Who
Ticina.
did you usually go to the opera with?
My wife appreciated the opera.
You appreciate the opera?
I
Opera?
I did not at first, but it grew on me. I didn't understand it, but then when I learned more about what was going on and why, and it was like looking at some paintings or some art. Like you don't, if you don't know to know, then you don't know. You know.
Mhm. Probably.
What about you, Evelyn? Have you been to this
Are you
opera
nervous
before?
about? Yeah, I'm usually on business. I'm excited to go with both of you, though.
You were saying, Ticina?
Oh, are you nervous about tomorrow?
I am anxious to meet this priest and to learn more about. Well, I hope to learn more about what Vulcan has in store for me here. The flashes from the crown have honestly left me with more questions than answers. I've been wondering somewhat what it is that we're doing here.
Hmm. There we found Patrick.
And I'm wondering, I don't know. I guess I'm wondering if Vulcan has more for us to do here, if I mean, that crown wasn't exactly the most reliable source of information. It was like half demonically channeling demon something, made me crazy. You
Hmm.
remember.
I remember. I was really worried about you.
So I think that I'm hoping that Vulcan will, I don't know, help me understand what it is that he has in store for us.
This would be nice.
Yeah. I'll drink some wine and then we'll have a lovely time and head out to the opera.
Perfect. So you guys have a delicious dinner, and you feel like very, very relaxed. Gareth, how much wine do you have before you go to the opera?
I don't think that Gareth is going to overindulge because he wants to. He wants to appreciate the. He wants to appreciate the opera and doesn't want anything getting in the way of that.
Okay. So you guys head to the opera, and Evelyn is kind of smiles as you arrive and notices one of the attendants holding. You think at first it's a red rose, but then you notice them flashing like a red symbol that matches the phoenix symbol on Evelyn's belt. that's
I,
over there, and um, they say, what what did you just link to in chat?
the diva from Fifth Element.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I keep thinking about Phantom of the Opera.
I like the strangeness of the diva in Fifth Element kind of jives for me with the whole Nagata Til'Vane
I think that's
situation,
great.
and then like also it's kind of mixed in with the techno-y vibes at the end of her
Mhm.
song. I'm showing my sophistication here. Yes, the end of her song. I'm sure there's a right thing to call it. So somebody's flashing
And Aria.
an aria. Yes, somebody's flashing a signal at Evelyn. Does she notice?
Uh,
Oh, okay.
yes. So
Oh,
she says, follow this one.
so you're saying that the
There you go. And
symbol or the like the light or whatever matched her belt, and so my brain was like, oh, they're flashing, like the light is coming from this belt, and they're just like sitting there like, doo, 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 doo.
oh, it's more like somebody is holding something, and then Evelyn notices it.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah, sorry, it's not quite as exciting as like a bat signal flashlight on one's belt. So they bat signal Evelyn over. Right this way, please. And so they lead you up into one of the box seats.
Ooh, I'm glad I dressed up.
You look very nice, sir. Here you all are, and chilled wine over there, and a few um dessert selections. If you need anything else, please just let us know. Kind of closes the curtains behind you.
So we've been tailed. How did they know about my chilled red? What are you, a spy or something? He says at Evelyn accusingly.
You betcha. Not just good. She doesn't really miss anything.
Well, I can't wait to meet her.
You'll like her. So the blue alien woman walks out onto the stage and begins singing an aria very dramatically. It's beautiful. The whole experience is exceedingly magical. Tessina's like scooched over to the edge of the booth, pretty woman style, except she watches it more like, thinks it's very exciting. She really appreciates the costumes. She only gets in trouble for whispering once. Pretty good. Yay, you went to the opera. Is there anything else you need to do?
No, we didn't run into Renej. Are you saving that for next time? Okay. So, yeah, we just enjoy the opera and drink
You
some
have a
chilled red.
lovely evening.
Looking forward to meeting
Chilled
this
red
priest.
is delicious.
Looking forward to meeting Renej.
There are little chocolate boxes waiting for you as you leave your booth at the end of the opera.
Make sure
Head back to...
to get all those.
Got him. You head back to the Restful Respite Inn.
Oh, yeah.
And is there anything else you want to do that evening?
I don't think so. Nothing springs to mind. I think it will, like I said, like late that night, maybe. I would, if I had, how are we set up in the Restful Respite? Do I have my own room?
Yes. So I think you guys are all connected via a suite. So it's like there's one hall, and you have a kind of shared common area, but you have your own room and bathroom, unless you want your own suite.
No, that's great. If Gareth had a little privacy, I think he would do a little contemplating of. I think he'd do a little contemplating of old Vulcan in anticipation of seeing him tomorrow. or not seeing him tomorrow, but going to the All Faiths Cathedral tomorrow.
Hello, Vulcan.
I'm
Okay, I think
burning.
that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, and I think he just spent a little time.
Roll a perception check.
Perception check. Here you go. Perception check is going to turn out to be a spicy 8.
Okay. It's muffled at first, but you hear a strange sound, and it takes you a minute or two to put together that you are hearing mangled bits of the aria from before coming from Tessina's room as she reenacts her favorite parts at the top of her lungs, running around her room.
Cute. I'm sure using a sheet as a cape, running around.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You hear one thud. You think the sheet has maybe gotten stuck on something. You occasionally hear like a creak as the volume increases, or you think she might be like leaping off of things like the bed with her cape. But yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Awesome. So,
but the story for the opera is,
okay.
I forgot to tell you, the story for the opera that you see is of a handsome and beleaguered widower and his 2 friends attempting to find the lost soul of the hero's deceased wife.
Well, I'm sure that's devastating for Gareth.
Oh. I don't know if Gareth knows that this is what it is. Let me rewrite it.
Is it in Nagata?
Yeah, like I don't know that you understand the language of what's going on. You see someone searching for someone else, and they're running around. But yeah, it's kind of sad. It's sad. So they find one another and then part ways again.
I think once Gareth spent some time contemplating Vulcan and hearing Tessina running around, I think he'd sit against the door that joins their spaces and would duet with her a little bit.
Sweet. Would you like to roll a performance check?
Ooh. I think Gareth can sing. Let's find out. 12.
You have proficiency in singing?
No.
Okay, well, we're going to add it. So add whatever your charisma, at least for this instance, in this deeply moved state in this strange new city.
Yes, so if I have proficiency... Oh, I mean...
your proficiency bonus.
Be what, +3 these days? Yeah, so 15.
So Gareth, in your deeply moving baritone voice, you join Tessina's singing. Neither of you know the words that you speak, but it's absolutely
something.
Yay!
Yay! Thanks, baby.
Okay, you're welcome. Can I do a check-in with you really fast?
Okay.
Do you want to talk to Quartz tonight, or do you want to stop there and talk to Quartz next week?
Quartz the priest.
Quartz the priest. Do you want to talk to the priest tonight? How are you doing energy-wise? I want Gareth to be like full on for the conversation with the priest.
Then we should take a pause.
Okay. Perfect.
I administered the ACT today. Been a whole day.
It's almost as stressful and tiring as taking it, which we all logged really far back away. So thank you so much, friends in chat, for joining us for Tales of Eldura. Honey, thank you so much for running around Til'Vane. I thought that was amazing. We will be taking a break for next week, but we hope that you will join us again on the 23rd of March for the All Faiths Cathedral, which is going to be very exciting, where we meet Quartz, the Nagata scholar priest.
Love it. Thank you, honey. And thanks, friends in the chat, and thanks to our patrons who make all of our video content possible. You can check out the kinds of cool rewards and D&D goodies that they get over at patreon.com/Grove Guardian Press. if you like our work, consider joining them or picking up our adventures, or and hit the like button, the subscribe button, the follow button, hit all the buttons. We appreciate you all hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you, everybody.